Hi everyone. Today we bring you to weekly insights on all about bees. Capricorn Technologies, a Win Zero company having a legacy of over 3 decades, has now become a partner of choice for the AEC industry. Capricorn Technologies is one of the biggest platinum partners of Autodesk and Bentley, along with Authorized Training Center. Today, with over 10 offices across India and 300 plus inspired team members, Capricorn is serving over 20,000 customers in the building, infrastructure, manufacturing, and a large number of other industries. Myself, Dipali Arora, Solution Specialist in Structures at Capricorn Technologies, New Delhi, will present you with weekly insights on all about beams. The process for designing a beam will be discussed in today's insight. This is part 1 of the video. The following topics will be covered in today's insight. First, beam creation. In this, we will learn how we will create a beam using STAAD.Pro. Technically different ways to create a beam. What are the different ways or approaches to draw a beam? Next will be assigning properties, like defining the sizes of our beam. And thirdly, will be defining beam sections or assigning supports to the beam. That is, whether they are the fixed support or pin support. So these all will be covered in today's insight. In today's insight, we will be covering on this problem as shown in the figure. Figure shows that a 15-meter long beam with fixed support and two roller support at specific distance, one at 10 meters of distance and second at 5 meters of distance, with a 2 kilonewton of load distributed evenly. So let's start the session and see how we will design this beam using STAAD.Pro. As you can see, I have already drawn the nodes at 10 meter and then 5 meter of distance. I can also show you by measuring this node to node distance. I'll go to utilities, then node tools, node to node distance, left click on the mouse, drag the mouse, again left click, 10 meters and then 5 meters. As per our problem statement, 10 and 5. Now, next step will be to draw a beam. First, I will remove this node to node distances. So, to draw the beam, you can click on this geometry option over here, geometry tab, and geometry tab. You can simply click on add beam if you want to draw a beam from point to point. Means from this node to this node, then from this node to this node. I will simply click on this add beam option. As you can see, this is the beam cursor. Now left click on this node, drag the mouse, again left click, repeat the same step, left click on the mouse, drag the mouse and again left click. This is the first way to draw a beam. Now I will show you the second way to draw a beam. What I will do is, just to show you, I will copy all these nodes in Z direction. What I'll do is, I'll go on select. I'll select this node cursor. I'll simply copy these nodes in Z direction. If you want me to cover this, like how we can copy the nodes or how we can copy the beams, please write me in my mail ID so that I can consider your choice and then I'll make a separate video on this. But as of now, I'll simply say in Z direction, I want 3 meters. Click on OK. As you can see, these nodes has been created. Now we will see what is the second or the other step to draw a beam. Our first step was like we can simply click on this geometry option, then we can click on this add beam option and click left click on the mouse, drag the mouse, left click again. Now what we can do is, suppose we want to draw a beam from this node to this node. What I will do is, I'll go on select option, I'll select the node cursor first, I'll select both the nodes, I'll go on geometry here. This is connect beam icon. Click on this beam icon. As you can see, this is the X direction. So I'll select X axis. See, our beam has been created. Or one thing also you can do is, if you want to add a beam, suppose in the midpoints or in the mid, you want to add a beam here at midpoint. What you will do is, from the drop down option over here, click on this option and select midpoint. Simply say, just click on the beam anywhere and click on second beam. And if you want to check if this beam has been created exactly at the midpoints or not, let's check the distance. First, this beam is of 10 meters, then it should be of 5 meters. See, exactly at midpoint, this beam has been created. Now, I will show you another option which is available over here, that is perpendicular intersection, which means create a new beam by selecting a node and then a beam, which means suppose there is one node between this beam at the mid or maybe somewhere in between or anywhere in this whole beam. So what I will say, I'll say I insert a node at midpoint. I'll say okay. Now I want to draw a perpendicular beam, means exactly at the midpoint. What I will do is select perpendicular intersection, click on this node, left click and click on this beam. A beam has been created. This is what it means by perpendicular intersection, perpendicular beam. Now moving on to our next step. These were the 3 steps basically by which you can draw your beam. And either way you can select and draw your beam in whichever way you feel like it's easy to draw. Now I will just delete all these beams because I've just created these beams to show you how we can draw the beams in different ways. Now moving on to our next step. This is how we draw a beam. Wait, first of all, I'll just merge this beam because we don't need this node in between as per our problem statement. Now, moving on to the support. Okay, providing support to a beam, click on supports over here. Support window will appear. Click on create option. First, we will add the fixed support. As you can see in our problem statement, there is a fixed support and 2 other roller supports. So we will see how we will add fixed support. Simply click on the fixed support over here. In fixed support, all the restraints are fixed, means there is no transitional movement and there is no rotation. So just add, this is a fixed support symbol and fixed support is created. What you have to do is click on this support first and click on the node on which you have to apply this fixed support. If you want to assign this support to all the nodes that is present, you can simply click on assign to the view. Or what you can do is, if you don't want this support to be fixed support, you want only this support to be fixed support, you just simply click on the node and then click on assign to the selected nodes. Select, then click on assign to the selected nodes. But as of now, I don't want these nodes to be fixed support. So what I will do is, I will not delete this support. What I will do is, I'll create another support, which is our roller support. For roller support, you have to click on this fixed but option over here. And in roller support, it can translate in fx direction, in fz direction, and it can rotate in mx, my, and mz direction. Only the movement in the upward and downward direction is not allowed. That is fy direction. So simply click on and a roller support is created. What I will do is, I'll click on this support now and I'll say use cursor to assign, and I'll simply click on, first I'll say click on use cursor to assign. I'll select these nodes. I'll say assign to the selected nodes. See, my support has been changed to now fixed but support. Here we have fixed support, and in these 2 points, 2 nodes, we have roller support. So this is how we add supports in our structure, and how this is how we assign the supports to the nodes. So now moving on to our next part, that is the properties part. How we will define the properties. As of now, you can see there is no property assigned to this member or section. You can say no properties has been assigned. If you see the rendered view of this section, you'll only see the lines. So our next part is to define the properties. As you can see in properties window, there is no property section has been added. So what we'll do is we'll click on this define option if we want to create the concrete beam. So in today's insight, I'll be covering the concrete beam. If you want me to cover for the steel members also, please write to me. I'll definitely make a separate video for that. So as of now, I'll be providing rectangular section to my member. So for YD defined is for depth. So I'll say my depth of the beam is 300 mm. So it is 3.3 in meters, and width of the section is I'll be taking it as 0.23. And by default, the material is selected as concrete. So if not, then please add the material and then select the concrete as a material. Click on done, close. Now there are also in a similar way that we have added support. There is like for beams also there is a similar method. If your all the members in your structure is of same size, then you can simply say you can select first this beam property, then you can say assign to the view if all the properties of the structures are same. And if not, suppose there is like suppose this member is of 230 and 300 in size and another is of 450 by 450, just in case. What I will say is I'll add another property, add close. Now this is R2 and suppose this is 450 by 450 in size. What I will do is select this property, then I'll select this beam, I'll say assign to selected beams. This is how you will assign your properties in the section. But as of now, there is no other properties. So I will say 230 by 230 only assign. Yes. Okay. So this is how you assign properties in your section. So I've already explained how to draw the beams, different ways to draw a beam, how to add supports, and then how to assign properties to your section. I hope you guys had a session. We shall be presenting with all about beams part 2. It will include the analysis of the beam and the assignment of loads. For more videos and updates, do subscribe our channel Capricorn Technologies Private Limited and like and comment if you like the insight. We would be delighted to hear from you. Please reach out to us for any suggestions, query or topic you would want to discuss. See you next week.